All right, working on today out of a 2015 Mercedes C300 4Matic with a 722.9. I have the 4Matic section of the transmission on the bench. So what's going on with this is I get a call from a gentleman that lives in New Jersey, and he's starting to hear a noise, but the car is driving okay. I mean, he can do 70, 80 miles an hour on the parkway. But he's saying there's a noise, and he wanted to bring the car to me to check. And I says, geez, if you can do 70, 80 miles an hour and you're not hearing anything, I'm not really sure what I'm going to find. And, you know, I don't want to start throwing parts at it and stuff like that. So I get a call back probably a couple of weeks later, and he says, all right, I'm going to bring you the car because we're definitely hearing something. I said, okay, no problem. As long as I can hear a noise, we can determine what it is, we'll get it fixed. Now, he's in Jersey, probably about 70 miles away. And, you know, he was on the parkway driving, no problem, coming here. And I guess about the last 5 miles, you know, he was probably more or less on the local roads. He was probably off the parkway already, but on the local roads coming here, this thing let go. This thing was making, I mean, he got out of the car, he looked a little stressed, let's put it that way. And I said, all right, he didn't think he was gonna make it here. So I said, all right, well, let's take it down a block. We'll go 2 blocks, we'll drive it. And I drove the car and wow, I turned around and came back, it was bad. I actually have another one here that's worse than this one. This car, you can't even drive down the block. We just put it in a spot and we're ready to work on it. We're gonna bring it in. So the first thing we did was raise the car up. We ran it. We can see the drive shaft, you know, was not turning true. The boot was ripped. There was, like, you know, all kinds of rust and dust coming out of where the boot is on the drive shaft. So we got another drive shaft. I didn't really care for the splines in there, but I'll show you all the parts in a few minutes. But once we got this, I got it on my #1 lift apart, and this has the typical problem of this U-joint inside this gear is no good, but I'll give you a shot of that. So I have the whole transfer case kind of laid out here, and I got my different one, and I'll, you know, again, nice. This is nice and tight, can't move it, it moves good. So I have the old drive shaft, I have the new drive shaft. I got my 2 seals for the transfer case. This seal usually goes bad a lot. This is the one that seals around this gear. And from this gear, you know, this thing kind of flopping around, it may tend to rip the seal. So we're gonna take a look at the seal. I have my output seal flange to go on here, all from Mercedes. I even bought a boot. When the drive shaft came, it had a boot on it, so I have an extra boot. But we're always using them. Like I said, I have another one here that they changed the drive shaft on, so I'm just going to use that boot on the other job we got. And I'm waiting for the other transfer case piece to come. I do not have that yet, but I have, again, I ordered a couple of seals, a couple of boots, a couple of output seals, so all that stuff is good to go. But the gentleman, Robert, he saw the video. He heard me say the magic words when I did my last video on the transfer case, and that is I got the guy that has these pieces so we don't have to buy a whole new transmission. So he liked that, and we got to talking on the phone. Again, very nice guy. So he made the trip out here. I got the car here now, and I'll even give you a shot of underneath the car, all apart. Also changing his pan. Pan is very rusty, and it looks like it's any minute now the rust is going to break through and the pan's going to start leaking. So I'm going to be ordering that tomorrow from my European guy. The pan is going to be brand new. I also have a filter and pan gasket already. So let me get a little closer, and we'll kind of just take a look at this stuff. I'll show you the drive shaft along with the new drive shaft. Mercedes recommends changing the bolts, so I got 4 new bolts, and here is the drive shaft brand new from Mercedes. Okay, so let me get a little closer and we'll just kind of take a look at this stuff. I'll show you the bad piece, the good piece. We'll take a look at the drive shaft. Again, I have my seals here, and I got this all, pretty much cleaned up, ready to go. I do have to clean underneath the housing underneath the part of the transmission case. I did not do that yet, but I've got 245,000 miles on this. The car is in very nice condition, beautiful car, and honestly, other than that, the inside of this transfer case really looks excellent. All right, so let me get a little closer. We'll take a look at this stuff, and then we'll take a look underneath the car, and then we will finish it up. But I told him I was going to be filming what I found wrong with his car, because he, again, found me watching my videos. So thanks for the continued support, and we'll go from there. All right, so let me get a little closer on this stuff. We'll take a look at this and head over to the car. Okay, so here is first our problem part. All right, and you can see there is like a U-joint in here. But what I might do, because this has a, almost like a freeze-out plug or something on it, but they don't want this back. There's no core. He doesn't have them rebuilt. I don't know where he gets these things. He gets so many of them. I'm not really sure who his contact is for this. But I would like to take one of these apart one time and kind of take a look at it. But you can see this is flopping all around. All right, it was on the drive shaft. The splines. I don't really care too much for the splines. There's also master splines on this. So when we put this back together, there is a master spline. There's one on that side. There's also one on this side. So we just line those up. Okay. So again, this is the bad one. This thing is shot, and I guess this let go the last 5 miles of his trip on his way to me. And again, he didn't think he was going to make it when I drove the car down the block. Wow, it was bad. Even driving it around the backyard to bring it into the front yard, wasn't it was bad. So here is the one that's going to be installed. Okay, so this is nice. It's nice and tight. Can't spin it. All right, and the seal. You can see that. That is the part number. So this is going to be knocked in the case. All right, so here is the seal, and of course it's going to seal right on this. So this part is going to face out. So I'm actually I'll see the best way to knock it in. If I could do it from the back, I'll put some stuff around here and then just get a bushing driver and hit it flat until it's even with the inside. All right, and then when we put it, I'm going to put some grease around it so the spring doesn't pop out, and that seals this, just like that. Okay, but it goes in, this way. So, all right, so that is that seal, and this is, again, our problem part. I got a good connection for that. I don't know how many people do, but I remember the first time I called, he goes, "Oh yeah, I got it." And we were able to, I did a few of these, I did a handful of these already. And like I said, I got another one here. All right, here's my rear seal for the flange. That'll fit right on here. I'm gonna knock this out and put that one in. All right, here's some parts to the transfer case. All right, so this goes into the output shaft of the transmission. Okay, here is the planetary. All right, and here are the clutches that make the all-wheel drive. All right, so a lot of times, and these are under a tension spring, so you really can't move them. But if you get when you turn the wheel and you get the chopping, all right, my recommendation to you would be to change the fluid, and then I actually want to put you guys on hold for a second because I got to see if I have any tubes. But what I would try to do, change the fluid and put in this red tube called instant shutter fix. That's if you have these are chopping on turns, because there might be the fluid is not gliding across these, or something may be wrong with these clutches. Can't really change these clutches because they're under, like I said, under a tension spring. You cut this thing out and you take the tension off, then you don't have 4Matic anymore. If you can get this piece, I never had to change one, I'm not 100% sure, but let me put you guys on hold for 1 second. Okay, so this is pretty good stuff if you're having an issue with like turning, when you turn the wheels and you got a wheel hop, like the clutches are grabbing and releasing, grabbing and releasing. So I would service the transmission, put new fluid in, add one of these, and if it's not too far gone, you know, it'll fix it. I just spoke to, even converter problems, I just spoke to a guy, one of my wholesale accounts called me, he brought like a 2015 Ram 1500 over, and the converter was chattering, you know, real bad, and you know, this is an 8-speed transmission, you know, this stuff is not cheap. So the guy's saying, oh, is there anything that can be done? I said, yeah. I said, I would service the transmission, the pan is plastic, that's part of the filter, get that from the dealer, get the 8-9 speed fluid from the dealer, do a full service, and add one of these. And he did that, and he called me today, he said it's 99% better. So the guy's just going to continue to drive the car to see if it goes away. Okay, so when this is going back together, you know, this piece is going to go on first, and this piece again goes into the output shaft of the transmission. So, you know, we have our clutches here, but the teeth really can't move, so we got to line this up, you know, and that'll slide on. You know, you might have to turn the gears to get it to slide on, and then this, of course, will go in, and you just got to kind of turn it until this goes in, like that. Okay, and then you have a long nut that goes through here with the inverted torque. All right, then this goes on, and the snap ring will go in. And this piece, of course, will go through. You got to kind of put those two pieces in together. You know, I would probably put this in first, line it up with the drive shaft, and then maybe pull it out a little bit to get the other piece in, and then you can go ahead and put those in. So that's how all that goes. And then your covers go on, and silicone, there's really no gaskets. So here is the old drive shaft. Here is the, I don't think I can get this boot off. Maybe I can. But there's all, you know, kinds of crap in here that I don't really like, these splines. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get this off because the other one comes on there already. So here's some more. You know, this is all within the drive shaft. So we got a new one of these, brand new, along with a set of bolts. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, here are the bolts. Again, from Mercedes, brand new bolts for the drive shaft. And I want to be careful. Open this. All right, so this is what the actual boot actually looks like. This piece was all broken off and stuff. So, you know, the new piece here, you line up the master spline and you slide it in. It's not, you know, it's a little smaller. It makes a bit of a tight fit. It's a little bit of a pain to get in, but you know, it's doable. I'm gonna put some grease or some STP around there, and we'll get this thing in. And the drive shaft, of course, has to go on first. This is nice, brand new. Drive shaft has to go on first, and then this will cover the other part that's, you know, that's part of the main case, and it will, you know, basically butt up against this seal, like this, to keep all the crap out. But this piece, again, was broken, the boot was torn, so all kinds of crap was in there. So we're doing all this. We're gonna fix this thing up real nice. I'm gonna put, also it's gotta get a new pan. I want to take you over to the car now and show you the pan and everything that's apart, and then we'll come back here and just finish it up. All right, so I will be right back, and we'll heading over to the car now. All right, so here we are under the car, and this is that one seal I'm gonna be changing, and the other one is in the back cover for the flange. All right, if you do take one of these apart, you know, the only thing we really don't have off of this is probably the bell housing bolts and the converter bolts. Everything else pretty much is off. But we got plenty of room up in here. All right, and when you slide these things off, just be careful because there is a collar. All right, and you got a shim. All right, so we're just gonna leave those two on there. All right, here, this is the intelligent servo module. That's for when you select park and reverse and drive. And here is the pan. You can see this pan is ready to bust through. It's so rusty. And I'll be cleaning this up tomorrow morning and pretty much putting this back together. The pan I have on order. Again, filter and gasket I have. So that's what that looks like. All right, this will knock right out. Drive shaft, of course, you know, the piece will go through here, and the drive shaft is going to butt up against this right here with that rubber boot or that hard plastic boot. And then we got to look for the master spline and slide the piece in, and same time then I can back out and slide that piece in and put everything together. All right, so that's that, and we're going to head back to the bench to finish it up. Okay, so real quick, I got my filter, pan gasket. Again, I do not have the pan yet. I'll be ordering that tomorrow from my European part supplier called Northside Imports. But pretty much, I can put the back of the transmission back together tomorrow. I have everything I need for that. But the first thing we can do is put the drive shaft back up first. Okay, so here is my problem. This thing actually it was so bad I just had it spinning around. It's really not supposed to do much. Yeah, it's real bad. Yeah, I can get this thing to spin actually. So this thing let go probably the last, 5 miles of his journey here, and we have the next one ready to go. So we're gonna fix this up real nice for him. Pan fill. We're gonna service the transmission. I really couldn't even drive it, to be honest with you, because I was afraid to drive it, just like, when we drove it down the block and the noise and stuff that was making. And the one that I got here now, it's an S550. It's probably around the same year. That you totally can't drive. I mean, we just took it off. They flatbedded it here from out east, maybe a couple hours out east, hour and a half, 2 hours out east. They brought it to me on a flatbed, and we just parked it. We raised it up, confirmed the problem, parked it, and that is done until I get my other one, which I should have tomorrow, I hope. So that's it for this 2015 Mercedes-Benz C300 4Matic. We're going to fix up the 4Matic portion of this, and we'll get him back on the road. So I thank you guys so much and have a great day, and we'll see you next one.